guys, M.V.K here. How's everybody doing out there? Whew. Welcome back to the Fit Spot, as always. Well, if you can see that title down below, this segment is all about, yeah, my boy, Iron Fist. And we have our showrunner finally. All the speculations and all the rumors that it was getting canceled and everything like that, it's been put to rest. And even though I'm not a big fan of the guy, I gotta admit, Casada was right. But Iron Fist is coming. It'll be the fourth in the Netflix deal. And I'm here to kind of give my fan casting for two of the characters I believe that will be in the series, and kind of give a little bit of synopsis and kind of feel that, just give a little bit of just my overall feelings about it. So let me go into detail a little bit about Iron Fist for all the novice and young bloods out there that don't know who this character is. Alright, for all you guys out there that do know me and have followed me for years, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you very much. You guys know Iron Fist is one of my top 10 favorite Marvel characters. And I always loved the character. I've always thought it was a good blend of two things that I am passionate about and two things that I am involved in: martial arts and comics. Danny rides that blend of martial arts and then the superhero genre as well. You gotta remember, this guy came out during the 70s, so 70s is a big era, a big boom for martial arts and things like that, especially here in the States. But for all you guys out there that don't know, Daniel Thomas Ran Kai, that's his full name, basically grew up in a mystical city known as Kulon, but basically only appears on Earth every 10 years before it fades off into another, kind of like its own dimensional. Its only means of getting there is through a portal in Tibet. And Kulon is like a mesh of old Ming Dynasty-esque China. It looks very ancient, very old, and that's basically the gist of Kulon. Danny's father, Weldon Ran, was known from there as well, and his father and mother were killed with the help of in a little bit of one of Danny's father, known as Joe Meacham, is kind of involved in his killing, and hopefully that character will be in the series. Now, because his mother was killed and devoured by wolves, yes, he was brought back to Kulon, and he pretty much was raised there and learned the ways of martial arts under the Thunderer, which is Danny's master, his teacher, his sensei. Hopefully we'll see him in the show as well. And at the age of 19, Danny went through the trials to become the 33rd Iron Fist. Now, if you've read Brubaker and Matt Fraction's run of the Immortal Iron Fist, that is a great adaptation of where the series and showrunner Scott Buck should really take inspiration from. Showcasing that Danny is not the first Iron Fist. Showcase that there have been other Iron Fists before Danny. Showcase that everything about the legacy and mantle of the Iron Fist is sacred to the city of Kulon, because it is one of the 7 cities of heaven. because there are other cities in that area. There are other immortal weapons, which I will get into later. But the Iron Fist is taken very seriously. Now, every Iron Fist has to go through a trial, correct? Every Iron Fist has to go through the same trial to gain what is needed. They have to defeat a dragon known as Shu Lao, the Undying. Because this dragon doesn't die, it continues to rebirth. Now, what happens when the person of an Iron Fist fights Shu Lao? He plunges, or her, plunges its fist into the dragon's heart, which gives the wielder a sort of its essence of the dragon. Now, in the Marvel Universe, Iron Fist is not even classified as superhuman. He's not even classified as being superpowered. It's more of chi, which we all have inside of us, a natural energy. That's one thing I've always loved about Iron Fist as well. But Brubaker and Fraction really push that even further, what Danny can do with his chi. For example, when we saw him, Danny started to read more into the book of the Iron Fist and reading all the other people, the other Iron Fists, he learned that he can heal from it. If he gets, let's say, mortally or shot, he can just meditate, and literally in meditation it starts healing himself. We've seen him do it before, and he, over some time, he's back to normal. That's one thing I've always, that's another thing that I'm hoping they pull off in the series. A showcase that this guy is extremely good at what he can do. Now, going back to Shu Lao, this is something where I feel that Iron Fist should really be the one out of the 4 solo series that goes all out. You know what I'm saying? Goes all out, pays true homage to the character and its lore and its mythos. So when I'm talking about Shu Lao, for example, it should be Shu Lao, the dragon. I don't care if they don't even show the dragon. They just show the dragon's eyes and a silhouette of Danny going through it. As we all seen in so far in all these series, we've seen their origins based in kind of a flashback. So if we could see it that way, like he goes into the cave and his last trial and he faces Shu Lao, and we don't see it, but we hear a rumbling and we see maybe a silhouette of the dragon coming out, that's fine. As long as they keep it like that, I'll be cool with that. I don't want them to be half-assed and pretty much go, oh, Shu Lao is an old man who is supposedly immortal, and once you defeat him, he gives you an essence of his chi or something like that. That's a half-ass move right there, and I'd be a little bit like, really? Like, that makes no sense, you know? Unless they can come up with a better idea than going with the dragon, I'm all for it. But if they go half-assed with the Shu Lao is just some wise man that now you must face this wise, all-knowing man in combat, I'm just like, nah, that's not it. That's just something I feel should not be done. Should not. The other thing, which I hopefully we also get to see in the series, is the supporting cast. Supporting cast. Now, there should be some time where we do get to see Weldon and his wife. I'm always forgetting Danny's mother's name. But of course, there should be one villain being Meacham, the man who is kind of responsible for having Weldon and his wife killed. And of course, yeah, we should see Davos, the other, the Steel Serpent, who should be kind of the main antagonist. We've seen his insignia all over in Daredevil. But kind of the story should be more of Danny returning back to New York from Kulon and finding that his father's company, Rand Corporation, has been taken over, is being led astray by Micho. Basically, in a sense, I feel that the story should go a little bit more like, guys, that it's almost like a stranger coming back, the prodigal son returning to reclaim his father's name, because that's how I feel they can play up what's been going on in the other series. So far, in the other series, we've seen that the Rand Corporation or whatever, has had an influence on the other characters. For example, Daredevil. When he got blind, what was on the name of that truck with the chemicals? Rand. Jessica Jones, when her family hit that truck, what was name on it? That's right. So, yeah. And I'm not saying we don't know how they're going to do Luke, but if instead of who funded the project that gave Luke? If I'm not mistaken, it was Tony Stark, but I could be wrong. Correct me on that one, guys. I'm trying to remember. But what if it's the Rand Corporation? So there's a connection with the three, with Danny, right there. Think about that. But with that being said, supporting characters, it'd be really interesting to see if they go all out. Scott Buck and them go all out with really going old school Iron Fist, and not just New Age Iron Fist. You know, in terms of not just Danny, but also Danny has a sister. And I think only true hardcore Iron Fist fans know that. He has a sister. His father, Weldon, had a relationship with another woman before he met Danny's mother. His sister's name is Miranda. Miranda Rankai. So it'll be really interesting if we see her in the show. I'd take that. I would love to see that, yeah. She's keeping an eye on him, but she's not telling Danny who she is and things like that. That'd be really interesting. Another character that I feel could be very interesting, and since her partner in crime is going to debut in Luke Cage's series, that's Misty Knight. What if we have her partner, the samurai girl herself, Colleen Wing, in Iron Fist series? Now, why do I say that? Because let's face it, if you do, once again, to any hardcore Iron Fist fans, when Danny returned from Kulon, the first person he interacted with and became friends with wasn't Luke. It was Colleen Wing. That's Iron Fist 101 for you guys out there. And I would love to see that. Now, I don't know who they could cast as Colleen, but I also feel that with these series, they do kind of turn some things, make it plausible for the world that they're in. And for me, if they brought Colleen Wing into the series, even though her grandfather taught her the art of Bushido in the way of the samurai, what if she basically is an instructor? What if she teaches people kendo, things like that. But on the side, we know that she's more than just a kendo instructor. Who knows? But yeah, definitely Colleen Wing, I would love to see it. And then, of course, you can play with the fact of the two, Misty and Colleen, may meet, and then they form the Daughters of the Dragon. And hey, we can see another spin-off from series. I've been very vocal about having Misty Knight and Colleen Wing, the Daughters of the Dragon, have a series on Netflix. That's why I'm hoping that this Netflix deal with Marvel continues after, we finally get the first wave of characters out. Uh, so yeah, that was pretty much basically. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much one of the basics of the supporting character. Now we do know that from what I hear, Carrie Ann Moss's character will come back. Now, Iron Fist 101 again. Her character in the comics is male, but in the comics she was the character. Jerry Hogarth is basically Danny and Luke's lawyer. So she's probably going to play a big factor in maybe Danny trying to get his company back and things like that. Now, those are some speculations, some things that I feel that Mr. Buck should really look at in terms of a series, in terms of a 13-part episode that gives us a little indication of just who this character really is and his story and where he comes from and his, why he does the thing he does, things like that. Now, you probably ask yourself, Chris, should Iron Fist be in costume? You damn right he should be. You damn right he should be. My opinion, this is just my opinion, guys. Luke, Jessica, no costume. Matt, Danny, costume. And I feel that, once again, now the question you probably ask yourself is, which look should he go? Should he go for the traditional green and yellow? Or should it be his later look that he got when he helped Doctor Strange out with the Fashanti, his white and gold look. Honestly, I think I prefer the white and gold look. Yeah. I don't want his alternate look. No. And I think that Danny's costume is plausible because Daredevil kind of had something like that. Now, this is how I would do the costume. The costume, the Iron Fist costume, is a ceremonial outfit that only Iron Fist get. It should be ceremonial. It shouldn't be something that he created. It should be ceremonial. Like when you get this, you are truly the Iron Fist. It's like you would never see Doctor Strange too much without the cloak of levitation or the eye of Ashanti, the eye of Agamotto, or things like that. Those are part of what makes him the Sorcerer Supreme. The Iron Fist should be kind of the same way. The tattoo that Danny has on his chest, this underneath his, I don't think, I wouldn't mind not seeing him with that tattoo. If they do, it'd be cool, but I think it should come and appear like when he's in a meditated state, a tranquil state, and he's meditating or healing, you should see it come on, and then, like I said, the Iron Fist show should really be the one that just goes all out, like a mixture of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon meets street drama. You keep it Kung Fu-esque style with a lot of, grounded crime dramas, but this should be the one that really goes all out. That's just personally me. Now, the question that you probably would ask me, I probably get this. So, Chris, what about the other immortal weapons? Fat Cobra, the Dog Orphan, all the other six immortal weapons of the other cities of heaven. Honestly, guys, I'd save the immortal weapons for season 2. And season 2 could really play off the tournament story arc that went on during in Brubaker and Fraction's run of Immortal Iron Fist. So that's pretty much it. Now, and those are just a couple of things that I think that Mr. Buck should really be looking at. Now, you're probably asking yourself, probably saying, it says this character for Iron Fist. You haven't heard it yet, Chris. Well, you're going to hear it right now. For years, when we heard, guys, that Iron Fist was going to get a TV series on Netflix, he was one of four of the characters. I was so happy. And then that's when the speculations now of who should be Iron Fist. Now, I've seen on the internet, I've seen forums, I've seen sites that have casted their own fan cast of Iron Fist and things like that. And I've even seen the superhero show on IGN. Nice, cool guys. I like those guys. They're interesting characters. And no, I don't feel that they disrespect DC Comics and things like that. They're just being what they are, seeing what it is. But I've seen their casting of Iron Fist, and I've seen a lot of very talented actors. Some I know, some I don't. Never seen a lot of their work. But honestly, personally, here's again, for me, one thing Iron Fist should be, an actor who plays Iron Fist should be very talented in martial arts already. I feel that is one thing that should go straight. This character should not have to train. This actor should not have to train too much to learn a craft or art of martial arts or kung fu. He's kind of already acknowledged in martial arts. Now I know there's been speculation that Iron Fist may be Asian American. I'm all about diversity. I have no problem. There have been Asian Iron Fists over the years. But, however, having said that, so far they have not changed any characters, any of the other three characters. Daredevil is not another person who's been Daredevil. And yes, there has been another person that was Daredevil. Jessica Jones is Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. With Danny, look, I wouldn't mind it, but let's keep him with what Danny is. Yes, he's a Caucasian, he's a white blonde guy who was raised in a mystical city, and most of the people in that city are Asian and things like that. Now I know that's a standard, and I know some people are getting a little tired of seeing that in terms of, oh, it's a white hero in an Asian town or something like that, but I'm not saying got to keep everything exactly to the source material, but let's keep Danny what he is. If that's the case, if you want to bring in the Asian American, and I'm all about that, I understand that we as people, in terms of other ethnicities, want to see heroes that look like them and not always portrayed as something that they're not. I think I can understand that. Personally, I can understand there are people, fans like myself, who are getting tired of seeing characters get whitewashed, especially Asian characters. So I can understand it. But keep Danny what he is. Keep him what he is. Keep him blonde, keep him blonde. I'm not against it. Not against it at all, guys. It's just that keep him what he is. That's what he is. Let him be it. Now, what makes besides the martial arts, you gotta have some acting skills, of course, but you gotta also kind of feel like this guy is Iron Fist. And I searched and searched and searched and searched and thought of who could play this character. Then, a few years ago, a little 3-minute 3 minute video came on YouTube of another franchise that I'm a huge fan of. Came on and pretty much showcased everything I was looking for with a live action version of this. And I even quoted, I'm saying, this did in 3 minutes what Hollywood couldn't do in an hour and 45 minutes. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was a little mini 3 minute called Street Fighter Legacy. In that, we got to see John Fu. You probably recognize his name. If you haven't, he was the man who played Jin Kazuya in the Tekken movie. And soon he's gonna play the character that Jackie Chan made famous in the Rush Hour series. Sorry. And he was Ryu. Who was Ken? I'll tell you who Ken is. Ken was a British actor, martial art, fight choreographer, named Christian Howard. And in that, he looked spot on as Ken. Fast forward a few years later, he's on a web series that continued where that left off, in a sense, called Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. And he reprised his role as Ken Masters. And the man nailed that character so well, so brilliantly. Started going in my head, and I started posting and saying this, and I said it before. I told a friend of mine about this. I said, dude, I said, if I could make a pension or just keep advertising, banging on Marvel's door like, cast this guy as your Iron Fist. You will nail the character. I put on my Twitter account, Marvel, here's your Iron Fist. Christian Howard. Get in touch with his people. That tweet got nearly 50 retweets, favorites, including Mr. Howard himself favored it. And that made me very happy to see that he favored it. I look at Christian Howard and I say he's got the right build, he's got the right mold. Yes, he's British, but the man can hide his accent so well. You're like, whoa, you won't even tell he's British. If you don't believe me, go watch Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. It's on YouTube. Go to Machinima, because it's a Machinima as well. Or you can buy it on Blu-ray or DVD. The entire first season. The second season is coming soon. But you watch his portrayal as Ken, and you're like, he gets everything right about Ken. Not only just he gets the attitude, the essence, he gets the mannerisms that Ken goes through. If you watch Ken throughout the history of Street Fighter, everything about him. That's how good he played that character. He nailed it. And I think he could nail Danny. Now the question is, yeah, but that's just a fan casting, Chris. I mean, we don't know how he would work with Mike Coulter and all the others, especially Mike Coulter, because that's Luke. And we all know Luke and Danny, brothers from another mother. You know, they got to have the chemistry. But I think he can. I think he can. I really do. And so far, I've never denied Marvel's casting. I didn't know anything about Charlie Cox. Never watched any of his work. And he sold me on Daredevil. He sold me on Matt. He sold me on Daredevil. I was blown away by this guy. I didn't know too much anything about Christian Ritter. Didn't really watch her work. But she sold me. She sold me on Jessica. Know a little bit about Mike Coulter. But dude nailed Luke Cage for me. Especially the modern take. I'm just saying. Christian Howard could nail Danny. I picture him in my head with the mask, the costume, and just kicking ass. What makes it better is he's also a fight choreographer. He can nail it. The only problem is his scheduling too busy that it would interfere with other projects, including the next season of Street Fighter Assassin's Fist. But I think, personally guys, I think Christian Howard could nail this character so well that people would talk about him even more. That's Christian Howard right there. That's my number one fan pick for Iron Fist, for Daniel Rand. You don't believe me? Look him up. Research him. See what I'm talking about. Now, as for the other character, the main villain, Davos, Steel Serpent. He's another character that I want to be villain, of course, but also be someone who is skilled in martial arts as well. Like, he doesn't really need, in terms of somebody he has to go learn how to train in martial arts. Now, some people have said that this man should have been Iron Fist. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to be different. And I'm going to cast him as the villain. And I feel that for Davos, Steel Serpent, Mr. Scott Atkins could play Davos. And we would get a badass martial art fight with the two of my fan casting. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but my fan casting, looking at it, Christian Howard and Scott Atkins going at it, pure martial art fight, would be magic to me. That's just me. Yes, indeed. Now, the other characters, I would have to do another time, the other supporting characters, but those are the two I really... Basically, it's true. You got your showrunner, guys. Now it's time to start working on your main protagonist and your antagonist. I'm looking forward to hearing when the word goes out who they casted as Iron Fist and the villain. I am looking forward to it, and I'm hopeful that Marvel is looking at they're looking at martial artists to play these roles, and not someone that needs to go train too much to play. And no disrespect to any of the other actors, but I'm really thinking, once again, guys, like I said, this series should be the one that goes out there. Like, it's not so straight now. Like, they can branch out and still make it understandable for fans who don't know this character, and really want to get to know this character. And I'm not talking about what they see on, if you watch Ultimate Spider-Man, that is not my interpretation of Danny. Okay? The closest in terms of animated version of Danny that probably works best is Earth's Mightiest Heroes version. Now, but other than that, guys, that is my opinion on the subject. How about you? And as always, guys, I want to thank everybody for listening to me run my mouth, run this Iron Fist fans, just run his mouth. And as always, I'm looking forward to you guys, your input. You know me, guys, I love input. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear what you feel. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. That's fine. I will respect your decision of why. Okay, well, I respect, for example, someone says, hey, well, Chris, I like your casting, but here's mine. Respectfully, this is who I feel completely. That's fine. But, you know, of course, as a friend once said, you know, sometimes you're going to get those trolls and the haters and things like that. And you know what? It is what it is. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't express my excitement and love for this character. And just know that Danny's coming. He's actually coming. Iron Fist is coming. And other than that, guys, this is Mount Vernon Kid. Peace. One love. Stay tuned. Keep it real, guys. I will see you guys next time. This is the Opinion Spot, where your opinion matters. I bid you adieu. Take care, guys.